Well, hello and welcome to the West Wing once again. Tonight's video is a follow-up to my two videos titled How to Get Rich Now. And this third, again, is a follow-up to clarify and go even deeper. And as you can see, I invited our friend John Wayne again this evening, and you'll see why. We're going to quote his famous quote again: "Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway." All right, let's get down to business here. Now, tonight's video I'm titling Getting Rich, Just One Step of Faith Away. Here's how and here's why. Now, the ultimate technique for success: a step of faith that makes any dream come true. Here's our handbook. Now, the major active ingredient in this handbook and the UTS Club is dream tickets. Now, there are dream tickets in your handbook, and then, as you know, I send you one by mail every month. And here's a new dream ticket. Now, dream tickets have everything to do with perception, because what you perceive is what you receive. What you perceive is what you receive. Perception is everything. Example: replace you with someone else in your life, and he or she would have created an entirely different life. They may be the head of an empire with thousands of employees, or they may be struggling and starving and barely just getting by. But it would be entirely different if someone else were in your life. Another example: if there are 8 eyewitnesses to any event, there will be 8 different versions of what happened. Now, if you know someone in law enforcement, ask him or her if this isn't true, and they'll tell you some wild stories about why it is true and what happens. So again, what you perceive is what you receive. As the famous Dr. Carl Jung said, it all depends on how we look at things and not how they are in themselves. Again, it's our perception. And Henry David Thoreau wrote, "The question is not what you look at, but what you see." Again, that's perception. A former sergeant retired from the Marine Corps took a job as a new high school instructor. But just before the school year began, he injured his back, and he had to wear a big plaster cast around his chest, his upper body. And fortunately, the cast fit under his shirt and it wasn't noticeable. So on the first day of class, he confidently walked into the classroom and found out he had been assigned the toughest, roughest group of high school students on campus. In other words, we used to call those juvenile delinquents. So the smart aleck punks had already heard the new teacher was a former Marine, and they were leery of him. And so they decided to hold off a little bit and see how this new former Marine actually turned out to be, and if he was as tough as they thought he might be. So walking confidently into the rowdy classroom, the former Marine opened the window wide and he sat down at his desk. Just then a strong breeze came in and was blowing his tie all around, so he picked up a stapler and pop! And stapled that tie to his chest. There was dead silence in the room, and he didn't have one bit of trouble from one of those kids the entire year. Their perception changed instantly. All right, now I want to tell you another story. In the early 90s, I opened an office in outside of London in a town called Richmond upon Thames. It's a shishy little town. It's the last stop on the tube as you leave London. You go out on their version of the subway, the tube, and you get to Richmond upon Thames, and it's a beautiful little town in a bend in the Thames River. And by the way, Mick Jagger lives there. Now, when you're doing business and starting up business in London, we had a courier or someone who knows the ropes and expedites everything that you need to do and all the forms you have to fill out and the people you have to meet. And in Europe, especially England, everything is done on a handshake and they must meet you. Trust is involved to a great degree, much greater degree than here in America. I really like that quality. So I was opening bank accounts, and this courier I had took us to Whitehall in London, which is where all the governmental offices are and the big, important people. And this is where the home office of the bank I was using and opening new accounts. So you have to meet your banker. That's how they do business there. And here I go into Whitehall. My son was with me. He was about 19 at the time. And we're escorted into this beautiful bank. And we wait in a nice little waiting area for a while. And then a lady comes down and escorts us upstairs to the second floor to the president of the bank's office. Now this man is the Queen's banker. And that's who we were meeting. So he came in, very polite, introduced himself. We had tea, and he invited us out on the balcony outside of his office, and we proceeded to talk and chit-chat and get to know each other, and then open the accounts. And when my son and I left that day, I said, Jeff, never again will you be intimidated when you walk into a bank, anywhere in the world. And that is so true. If I walk into a bank today, it's that old feeling that I mentioned on the last video. As an adult, when you go back to your elementary school, it looks so much smaller. And obviously it didn't get smaller, but as a kid, it was so much bigger because you were intimidated and there was a lot of fear there. And now when I walk into banks, it feels like Monopoly and playtime, because I've been in the Queen's banker's office, and it's all perception. So think of some stories in your own life where perception changed everything, and it changed it instantly. All right, so what makes dream tickets so special, so powerful, and so fast acting? Here's the key. Each UTS Club dream ticket is its own step of faith, a step through fear. Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway. So each dream ticket takes us through a step of fear. And that's the power and the purpose of all the dream tickets. They instantly change your perception. Some make small changes, while others make dramatic, instant changes, and you never know which will be which. And you know what? That's the fun of it too. As soon as your perception changes, your world changes again instantly. Faith goes beyond reason. It goes beyond what you can see. But it is as real as anything you can touch or feel. And some more words of wisdom. The things which are not measurable are more important than those which are measurable. What we do today, right now, will have an accumulated effect on all our tomorrows. Now, all of these insightful quotations describe dream tickets. You can't see it, taste it, touch it, feel it, but it's there and it's more real than the chair you're sitting in or the desk you're sitting at. Now, this is from club member Gail B. She says, "Hi, Ken. Today I rode a bus for the first time in 30 years. That's Dream Ticket 25, by the way. It was a fun experience. I walked around downtown and went into some places I had never been before. It was taking me out of my comfort zone." Well, that means she was afraid to some degree. Gail went through the fear and, as we learn in the handbook, proceed while being afraid. John Wayne said, Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway. And she said it really opened my eyes. It was refreshing. Also, I listened to the Richest Man in Babylon CD. Wow, she said in all capital letters. That really helped too. I'll listen to it many more times. I'll be in touch. Thanks for all you do. Signed, Gail B. Well, thank you, Gail, and congratulations on your change in perception. And then I just received this email from actually a UTS club coach in Grants Pass, Travis, Coach Travis. Ken, wow, talk about facing fears. Yesterday I had to go to a funeral. A funeral is a test of any number of fears for me, but we came to the part of the service where the pastor asked if anyone would like to share a story. I don't have a problem at all talking in front of groups. In fact, I enjoy it. But this was one of the toughest things I ever did. So after a few people spoke, I stood up and told a short story I really liked. And you know what? About 5 or 6 people came up to me after the service and thanked me for sharing. It was really a good exercise in facing fear. Now I'm looking forward to performing Dream Ticket number 38 here in Grants Pass. And that's Club Coach Travis. And this reminds me, fantastic, Travis, and congratulations to you too. And your email reminds me of the famous Jerry Seinfeld joke that really isn't such a joke. He said, according to most studies, people's number 1 fear is public speaking. Number 2 is death. Death is number 2. Does that sound right? This means to the average person, if you go to a funeral, you're better off in the casket than doing the eulogy. And that's so true. So again, good going, Travis. And yes, Dream Ticket 38 is one of the best and fastest acting Dream Tickets. And when most club members do it, they tell me how they wish they had done it sooner. But again, that fear kept them from doing it. Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway. So that's it in a nutshell. Just do your dream tickets. They're all here. They're all in the handbook. Just get started and start small and go bigger and bigger. And as W. Clement Stone wrote, thinking will not overcome fear, but action, dream tickets, will. The ultimate, most holy form of theory is action. That was a Greek philosopher. And a German philosopher said, an ounce of action is worth a ton of theory. All right, go out and perform a dream ticket. That's it for this session. Until next time, onward and upward.